Hello, everyone. So I'm sitting here working, and I'm actually working on a post and a couple of other things for my program. But it's 2:50 in the morning, and I have a program management business, an engineering business, a cognitive enhancement business, nootropics, and a couple of other investment businesses that I have going on. And people often ask me if nootropics had part to do in what I do, as far as the success of it. And I was writing a few things, and I decided, well, you know what, I'm gonna turn on my Pixel C and just start kind of just speaking, and it's raw, right? And I'm here working right now. Let me show you. So this is my work condo. There's all my monitors. So I've got a place where I work out, so I can really just kind of go in the flow and zone out. But yeah, they made a huge difference in my career. Before nootropics and kind of a cognitive enhancement lifestyle, not just nootropics, I was, I did well in my career. I progressed through senior program manager, director, doing engineering work, running construction companies, and got all the way up to vice president. And one day it just hit me, when I became a vice president and I was managing 165 people, and when everything that I love, I completely just hated. I hated my job. All I was doing was dealing with HR issues. I was dealing with finance issues. I wasn't helping people become better. I wasn't making a big difference and change as far as the actual products that I was working with. I just wasn't passionate about what I was doing. So one day I just quit. No plan in play. I was afraid, and it's definitely something that I hadn't done before. But that's when I first started researching cognitive enhancement compounds, and I figured, okay, I'm going to go into a nootropics business because it's something that I had been dabbling in biohacking for a while. And all I can say is that there's a tremendous change that's completely unpredictable that begins to happen, that it's exponential over time once you start dabbling in a cognitive enhancement lifestyle. And by that, I mean, you start to intermittent fast. You pay attention to the micronutrients that you need. You know that if a precursor to dopamine or acetylcholine is choline, then you're paying attention to your choline intake, and you're paying attention to, all these other micronutrients that you need to ensure that your body can utilize to produce the neurotransmitters and some of the hormones that you're trying to balance or produce, because you're stressing yourself to a different level while you're trying to learn at an exponential rate, because technology is exponentially increasing, and you're becoming an entrepreneur, and at the same time you're starting to compete, and in a time that's more competitive than ever. So intermittent fasting, micronutrients, get some exercise in there, right? I'm not obsessive about exercise. I work out maybe 4 or 5 times a week, but it's important. Sleep, that's a tough one. I can get into that conversation one day, but I sleep about 4 hours a night. I take protein shakes. There's all kinds of different racetams and nootropics that I take. ITCS, ITMS, constantly stressing my mind with challenging myself. But there were some unintended consequences of all of this kind of input as far as the output that I was able to produce, the associations that I was able to make, the way that I was able to develop businesses once I started to focus on that lifestyle is tremendous. It wasn't that I was reading a bunch of business books or that I was reading a bunch of how do I get this done self-help books. It was that I worked on improving myself, and by balancing my emotions and improving myself, I began to see things that I couldn't see before. Getting into flow, maybe I can go on and on and on, but I just kind of wanted to share this and see how many people out there feel a little bit like the way I do, or have questions, or are on the cusp of actually getting to that next level. And if there's an interest in that, I think what I'd like to do is take the time to start producing and answering questions, because I'm a pretty average person, from this. I was always pretty sharp, and I felt like I was ambitious and curious, but I was kicked out of high school my sophomore year. My education isn't a traditional route. I jumped around to different jobs until I was able to, kind of find what I thought I wanted to find, and I figured it out now. And that's just, I like to learn, and I'm curious, and that has led me to starting, a number of businesses, and some level of success that most people want to be able to free themselves and achieve. and I have that freedom now. And it's one of those things that even though while I'm progressing, I need to figure out a way to share it with people who felt like me. I wish maybe 5 years ago I could have been having a conversation with somebody like myself. There's a lot that I learned along the way, and so if there's an interest in having these discussions from somebody who just turned the corners, doing well, didn't come from something that you would think, well, of course that person is going to succeed. I came from a very humble family. I lived in foster homes. My parents were migrant workers. I didn't go to good schools, and yet was able to teach myself and learn how to learn so that I could pretty much jump into anything that I became curious about, understand it well enough that I can organize people and go after producing a company and driving revenue, or convincing a client that, hey, look, we can find a solution that nobody else can because we're wired a certain way. And then that lifestyle kind of started to take on life of itself. It kind of created its own tribe, and all these people are excited about the same kind of thing, and we're all learning and we're all optimizing, and it's just amazing. So let me know. Send me an email. I mean, just respond to wherever I post this. I think YouTube for starters. And if there is an interest, I'll start responding to questions and maybe go a little more in depth. Eventually find people who are starting to kind of experience the same thing that I am at different levels. Some that are struggling and starting, some people that are like me, and we go from there, because there's a lot of people out there that are ultra successful, but those aren't the examples we're looking for. We're looking for people who are anywhere between I'm struggling to I just stopped struggling, and so let me know. All right, thank you.